Hello, everybody. Hello, VonJoy Powrie. We are so glad to have you here. I hope I pronounced the name properly. Please mind
Yes,
my
you did. Thank you,
pronunciation.
Yogi. Perfect.
Yeah. So we just call like VonJoy. So
Yes.
so we are so glad to have you here, and she will be sharing her life experience, story, and everything with us today. So she has a business, and we'll ask her to tell the name of the business also shortly. And she's a business owner, and you are currently now staying in Australia, right? Living in
That's
Australia.
right.
So we'll
Yes.
and there's a bunch of questions we would like to learn about your life and like experiences, these kind of things. So, first of all, would you like to do a brief introduction? I know we will be getting into your life and listening to what you have to say about and sharing, listening to your
Sure.
experience and all this wisdom and knowledges. So, please, could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me here today, Yogi. So, as you said, my name is VonJoy Powrie. I'm known as the Stress Bitch Slayer coach, and I'm the founder of Bitchy Whispers. That's my business name, Bitchy Whispers. um, It's a cheeky name. I've had that said to me
Ah,
by many women that I'm serving. It's a very cheeky name, but it says it all. And as we go through the program and I explain what it is, you'll understand.
sure, sure.
So I have spent over a decade coaching businesswomen through the emotional stress and self-doubt that often hides beneath their leadership and their ambition. My work focuses on helping them build unshakable self-worth and to silence those inner and external sabotages that speak either to themselves, what they're telling themselves, or what they're hearing about themselves from other people, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in their family, whether it be from friends. It's there.
Mhm.
So, and I teach them how to reclaim their power because that can be very, it can diminish us. It can make us feel small, and it can rob us of our confidence, and it actually robs us of our power because it's very, like I said, it diminishes us.
Mhm.
And toxic gossip and quiet judgment, they definitely take us down. And so that's what I do. I try and help women overcome all of that, and so she can rise and stand in her power.
Okay, I'll just. Oh, thank you so much, Joy. So, just a cheeky question for you. Why did you
Yes.
select that name?
That's a really good question, Yogi. That name actually came to me in my sleep, would you believe?
Okay.
And and that name came to me because of the conversations that I have with women, and I think these women will understand this because when we're talking with each other, and especially in the workforce, we do refer to things as bitches and to people as bitches. And like that's such a bitchy thing to say, and that's such a bitchy thought that she gave me, and that was a bitchy look she gave me, all this kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, so there's what's the opposite of gossip? Well, whisper. And I thought, I don't want to use gossip because gossip is very harsh. And then I just came up with bitchy whispers because whispers is softer,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
it's actually how we talk. We're whispering.
Uh-huh.
When we're talking about somebody in the work, we don't talk loudly like we're talking now. We're actually whispering
Whispering.
a gossip to the next person, and it's
Uh-huh.
bitchy. And so that's where bitchy whispers arrived from.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense, no? Okay.
Yeah.
So then we'll go to the next question. Like you talked a little about it. So what are you up to these days, man?
Lovely question. Thank you for asking that. So right now, I'm very focused on building my new private community for businesswomen. Now, it used to be called the Businesswomen's Club, but things have evolved. through coaching and through feedback that I've been getting with my clients. And women are just saying to me, they just love my name, Bitchy Whispers.
Oh, okay.
And so with my mentor, he said to me, keep the name Bitchy Whispers throughout your branding, because it's women are responding to it very well.
Oh, very well.
So now my new Facebook group program is Bitchy Whispers, but it's the Power Club for female entrepreneurs. And it's a space where we don't just talk about strategy and success, because I'm not a business coach, but we talk about the emotional stamina it takes to stay powerful when we are being quietly undermined. I'm also developing workshops, and I've got lots of tools to help female entrepreneurs reset their stress response, rebuild their confidence, and lead without apology.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So what will happen, like in the near future? Like you said, there are specific programs, or like you courses or something you are lining up?
I have actually got a course that is very powerful. It's a 6-week course that I take these women through. It's called Neurotransformation Therapy. It's science-based, and it helps us to change the way we talk to ourselves and to others. And I work with the subconscious mind, the power of the subconscious mind, because the power of the subconscious mind helps us to create change, lasting change, and helps us to get the desired results that we're looking for in life. Because you know what, Yogi, if we learn how to communicate with ourselves, we can actually influence the way we think, the way we feel, and the way our habits form. And that is what creates lasting change for us. So that is what I help these women through over a 6-week program.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so please tell us, how was your life's journey, from, if you can, because I really like to hear, like, because our lives, and even people in the same era, we had different lives than what children have before now, right? So
Oh, definitely.
yeah, so please, if you can take us through your childhood, what happened, yeah, those things, like how you lived it.
Yes.
So then my idea is, like, for modern children to listen to elders like us all, and see, like, okay, there's something more than just sticking with your mobile device, or just sticking inside a room or a house. Just, no, there's something more. You can go outside, play. So please, we would love to hear your childhood and the journey you came.
Well, thank you. My childhood, I actually grew up in Rhodesia, which is now called Zimbabwe. And I grew up on a ranch.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And a ranch, it was wonderful because it was huge. So my backyard, we had elephants and lions.
Wow.
And hyenas and all those kinds of things in my backyard. Not that I went out to play with them. I'm just saying they were there. We had to, of course, we had to be very careful, because as children, it was a very carefree childhood, because we were outside. We didn't have mobile phones or any computers at that time. So we had to learn how to play outside. So we used to build forts, and we used to invent our own games. We used to play Indians. Cowboys and Indians was another game we used to play. And then hide and seek was a big one. And of course, hiding in the bushes was very exciting. You had to be very careful. Obviously, we went too far in the bush. And then we were taught to track. So we would track animals in the bush, and we would learn to look at their droppings and identify what animal was around in the bush, which was very exciting as a child. It was lovely. And then, of course, things got a bit heated up in that country, and we had to leave. And we left, and we moved to South Africa. And I lived in South Africa for quite a long time. And again, it was a good life to a degree, very free, and also at that time, didn't have mobile phones. So we used to ride our bicycles a lot,
Mhm.
which was wonderful. So we would do exercise and walked a lot. And what else did we used to do?
Mhm.
Uh, it was we had a lot of friends, and our friends used to stick together. We used to do things together as groups, which was
Mhm.
nice. And then, of course, I left there because there was trouble brewing again and came to Australia.
So how
And
many? Sorry,
Australia
yeah.
has been,
How many
yes,
siblings
go
did you
on.
have?
I've got one daughter. She's
Uh,
30 odd. She's now a design engineer.
sorry. Your
So
siblings? Siblings? How many brothers?
two brothers,
Two brothers. Oh, okay.
older older than me.
Ah,
Yes. So that was yes, and they thought they ruled the farm. They thought they ruled me, but
but
yes.
maybe you were the favorite of the family, right? Because you were the little girl at that time, no?
Oh, you would think so. You would think so, Yogi, but not so much. No,
No?
my middle brother, he was the favourite. Yes,
Ah,
we never
wow.
let him forget it. So
It's the opposite usually, no? Either the elder one or the younger one, or the youngest
they
get the
say
most
that.
attention, right?
Yeah, but no, not in my family. It was the middle brother. Yeah, he
Ah,
was my
okay.
mother's favourite.
Ha ha ha.
Anyway, but you know what? We got on and
Sure.
we looked after each other. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm. Then please tell about your schooling times and then how you came right up to now.
So schooling times, in schooling in Zimbabwe, I was actually very good at swimming. I was chosen to swim for Zimbabwe,
Uh-huh.
but then because of what was happening over there, and we had to leave, so that fell away, which was really sad because I just loved swimming. It's my thing.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, we moved to South Africa, and then in South Africa, I went to an all-girls school, as opposed from going to co-ed. Now went to all-girls school, and that was very challenging. It was something different. In a way, it was nice, but in a way, it wasn't. I did miss
Mm-hmm.
having the boys around because they added a bit of drama and a bit of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Girls can be boring and bitchy. Um, so yes, so that happened there. But I have to say, I wasn't very good at school. I think because of what was happening when we moved from Zimbabwe to South Africa, it was a very rushed and a very emotional thing. I said goodbye to all my friends. Didn't know if I was going to see them again. So as a young child, how old was I then? I think I was only about 12.
At
Yeah,
12.
so that was hard.
Uh-huh.
And then my parents weren't getting on very well. Um, a big move, different country, different rules, different laws, different everything. The way of life was totally different. You wouldn't think so because just across the border, it
Mm-hmm.
was very, very different, very different.
Different.
And so we had to learn how to fit in, and then we had to learn the language because it was English and Afrikaans. And through schooling, if you didn't pass Afrikaans, you couldn't go up to the next,
Uh-huh.
you know, grade. And of course, I didn't want to learn that language. And so that was, I don't know why, just didn't want to learn it. And so that was a big hindrance. But I just didn't do well at school. Okay. I
Uh-huh.
hated school. So my mother then took me out of there and she put me into a college where she just wanted me to be a secretary. Well, I was not born to be a secretary, I can tell you that, Yogi. So I wasn't born to sit in front of a typewriter and to take rules or be bossed around by a boss. Do this and make sure you come to work at this time and you can only have an hour for lunch and you must be back on time and blah 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 blah. But in that day and age, for girls, there wasn't much option. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but my dad said no. My dad told me I wasn't clear enough to be a veterinarian, and he said that job is only for boys. So that was, excuse me, that was out of the question, which was really sad for me because, again, I felt like I was being minimized, and now this is where it started. So I wasn't allowed to be myself. And here's the other thing, that my mother was extremely religious. And so I grew up in a religious cult, which meant that there was a lot of things I was not allowed to do, and there was a lot of friends I wasn't allowed to play with because if were not in my cult, religious cult, I wasn't allowed to associate.
Oh.
So it kind of got very lonely, and right back then, sad to say, but I started to live a double life because I had to be one thing when we went to church, and then I was another thing when I was away from church. So I was leading a double life, and I preferred the life outside of church because I didn't like the teachings and what was going on there. A lot of it didn't make sense to me, and I found it very restrictive, and I thought that was wrong. And also, I saw things happen in that cult that I shouldn't have seen. And I thought, well, this is a religious cult. We're all serving God. Why are you doing these things? So that just, that had a bit of a sad impact on me, and it left me a little bit bitter, to be honest. But anyway, we grew up, and then as life progressed, and of course I got married, and then I got divorced because the reason I got married was through the cult. I was pushed into the marriage, and it wasn't right, and he wasn't a very nice man, and I suffered. I went through domestic violence with this person, and so I left. Yep. And then through that, with all that trauma and the trauma of leaving Zimbabwe and coming to South Africa, and everything else in between, I suffered a breakdown. And I ended up having to go into a mental hospital for 4 weeks. And I was drugged up to the nines throughout the 4 weeks. I mean, I've still got the tablets to show you. A bag of tablets that I took. Terrible things. And, but here's the thing. They say things happen for a reason, because when I was in that hospital, I used to sit and watch these other women, and these women weren't getting cured. Some of them were going to have this electric therapy.
Shock treatment?
Shock treatment. And they would come out and they'd say, oh no, this was great. And but then after a week, they were back to normal. And I would think, what is that doing to your brain? It's supposed to fix you, and it hasn't. And they were coming back into this hospital time and time again. And I realized something. I thought, this is not living. This is not, why are these women, they're dealing with psychiatrists here. We're getting all this medication, and it's doing nothing other than making us all zombified. And we're still walking out of there. And then, unfortunately, sad to say, sometimes you'd hear these ambulances rushing in because people were harming themselves. And there were incidents of suicides that were happening in the hospital. And this kind of freaked me out. And I thought, no, this is not me. This is not me. There was something inside of me saying to me, you're meant for more. Definitely meant for more. This is not where you belong. You're better than this. Had no idea what it was. Anyway, when I was about to be released, I still remember it was the most frightening experience of my life, because let me tell you, in that hospital, it was a private hospital, very well looked after, very protected. At night time, it would come, your room, the door was not allowed to be closed. It had to stay open. And the nurses would come every single hour up and down, and they would walk into your room, and they'd have a torch, and they would check on you. Check to see if you were okay. And they would check to see if you didn't have anything around your neck or silly things like that. And that happened every single night. So, and then through the days we'd go and do programs. What was one of the programs now? If I can remember, was can't remember my head, but it was a very good program. And with the group, and we'd go around the circle and do our lessons and all the rest of it. So, and the food, let me tell you, the food was top notch. You were very well looked after.
Okay.
But like I said, when I was about to leave and I stood in front of this, I'll never forget, it was a big brown double door. I stood there and I thought, I now have to walk out of here where I have been protected so well for 4 weeks. And now I've got to face this world again. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And I remember standing there and I just burst into tears, and I said to the nurse, I pleaded with her, I said, please don't let me go. And she said to me, no, it's time. You're okay. You're doing okay. You've got your medications. You contact us at any time. You've got your psychotherapist and your psychologist. Just contact him. You know where to go. We're just here. You have to go. She opened the door. And I stood outside. Well, I don't know what to do now. Where do I go now? I'd lost my job.
Oh.
Anyway, I managed to ring a taxi and I went home and I sat there and I thought, well, I've got to work out what I'm going to do now. It's lost. And at that point too, I still didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. I was lost. Anyway, long story short, a girlfriend then said to me, listen, she was going to the seminar and she said to me, would you like to come along with me? And I said, well, what seminar? Because I was so naive, Yogi. Remember, I had been in a religious cult. I knew very little what was happening outside in the world because I wasn't allowed to know. And now I'm going to the seminar. I had absolutely no idea what she was about. What is a seminar? And she said, just come with me. So I went there, and my first seminar was with Chris Howard. I will never forget him. It was personal development, and he was talking about how to improve ourselves, how we can grow, how we can do all these wonderful things. And I'm thinking, that's what I need. That's what I need to do. There it is. I love this. This is beautiful. This is what people should be doing. We should be empowering ourselves. We should be growing into being the best versions of ourselves. But we don't know how. But anyway, so that was what that seminar was all about. It was from that seminar I got into personal development. And then I started to realize I want to be a coach. And I want to go and help other people because of what I had seen and what I had experienced. I knew there was more to life and I knew I had something to do. And so that's how I got into coaching. And then I went and my first coaching was a life coach certification, and it was in Melbourne, the Coaching Institute. And that's where I started my coaching journey. Then from there, I just continued. Learning. I was like a sponge that was absorbing all of this. And then I started coaching. But at that point of time, I didn't have a niche market. You didn't have to. And I was coaching everybody. But I was coaching. I remember my one coach was a young man, and he was gorgeous. His father was a builder, and he was suffering because his father wanted him to take after him in the building industry. But he wanted to go into the performing arts. He wanted to be an actor. And his father nearly went berserk over this. And so he was having a really bad time with the relationship. His dad wasn't very good. And so I was coaching him. I was showing him that, you know what, we all have a right to choose. And even though your dad wants you to go one way and you want to go another way, it's your right to go that way. And that's where you should be going. But at the same time, you need to respect your father's wishes and understand where he's coming from. And through the coaching, I was able to help him see that why his dad was so eager to have him go that way, and why he wanted to go that way. And if he chose to go that way, it's okay. And how to stand in his power and how to have the confidence to stand up to his dad and say, Dad, thank you very much, but it's not for me. I want to go this way. But however, I will support you. And please, I ask that you support me in my direction. Life that I want. Anyway, we had all of this beautiful coaching session, and he ended up at the end. It took a long time. It wasn't an overnight success. It took a while, but it ended up where his father then softened and accepted the direction the son wanted to go into, and the relationship became really good. So I was
that's wonderful.
really thrilled with that. And he actually gave me a pendant, a silver pendant, and it was a saying from my favorite person. And he gave me this pendant with the saying on it. It was just beautiful. I still got it.
Oh, okay.
So that was a lovely experience. It was a very nice experience. And then I've had so many others after that. I mean, I don't know if you've got time, but another one that I would like to relate was a young girl. She was her confidence was just smashed again because of people, the terrible things people were saying, the judgments from her friends and her family. And she was a designer, and she was coming up with this swimwear. that she wanted to introduce to Australian women. Beautiful swimmer, absolutely beautiful. She was so clever, but she was too afraid to take it out to the public because of the judgments. And what would people think, and how am I going to get this out there? And then if it doesn't work, what's my mother going to say? Because my mother is going to help me with the funding a little bit. She's giving me a little bit of money to help me develop this this business. So she had all these thoughts going, and then she was with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend too wasn't supporting her very well because he didn't believe her. He used to say nice things and say, "Oh, that's nice, baby, but I don't know how far you're going to go with that." And also because she was taking so much time, they lived in an apartment, and one of the rooms she set up as her design room, and she had a table with the sewing machines. I mean, she's doing this all on her own. She was sewing, cutting out, designing all on her own. So you can imagine the time it was taking her. And so because of all of this, the boyfriend then was complaining that it was taking up too much time and he wasn't seeing enough of her. So, and then of course the financial aspect of it came in as well because money was being drained and she didn't know how she was going to keep supporting herself to build this business. So through the coaching, because I'm also a money coach, I'm a certified money coach. So I helped her with the money side of things. I helped her know how to put a savings plan into place and all these other things that go with that, the spending, what's coming in and what's going out and how to manage all of that. And then I said to her, don't do that on your own. This is an aspect that you can now get your partner because he was quite good with figures. Now bring your partner in and help him. Let him do this part of the business for you. Because now he's going to become involved in your business. So it's not just you. And now you're doing the thing together. And that went off like he was so delighted and so was she. And that was wonderful. And then, but we had to build her confidence. So I did that. We elevated her confidence, something chronic. She was amazing. She ended up doing, she started off now, she went to markets and she got set up with her stalls and she put her costumes out there. And then I said to her, well, that's not enough because you need somebody to wear these costumes. You need somebody that's going to help model these costumes so that women can see what they look like. And she did that. She got 2 young girls and they came to model for her. And then I said to her, well, that's not enough because you need to take photos. And remember, I'm not a business coach. So these are things you can see that they need to develop. Take the photos, create a website, and let's build it from there. And that installed her confidence because when she saw the reaction she got for her bathing suits, which I've got to tell you, were absolutely well, that installed confidence, and things just grew from there. And she's still got a thriving business.
Oh, wonderful!
So, it's very exciting. So coaching is so rewarding in so many ways, Yogi. It is so rewarding, and to go back and to talk about these experiences is. You can't put this into words. It's Albert Einstein. There you go. I'm sorry, that just came to me. Albert Einstein with his saying, and the saying will come to me later. But anyway, but yeah. So getting back to that, coaching is just one of the most wonderful things to do. I love it.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, please.
Oh, and then to carry on. So what happened further in my life with the coaching? Well, as I was progressing with coaching, of course, it was pulling me further away from the cult because you can't coach and be in this cult. It wasn't accepted. So I thought, now I have to choose. What am I going to do? And then I thought, this is my life. What am I going to do in this cult? Where is this cult leading me to? It's not making me happy. It's not making me feel fulfilled. I have to do something. So unfortunately, cut a long story short, I then had to cut ties with my mother. She became quite nasty to me as well. And again, if you're not in the cult, they don't want to have it. It doesn't matter if you're family, they don't want anything to do with it. And so the ties were severed and I had to walk away and say goodbye to my mother. And I haven't seen my mother, I haven't seen my mother now for must be 15 years.
Oh,
And I actually now think my mother has passed away.
that's
But
right.
nobody, because my mother would be in her 90s now. But here's the sad thing, that nobody in that cult has contacted me, let me know my mom needed me,
Mm-hmm.
if she's still alive or if she's in a nursing home. I have no idea. It's
Mm-hmm.
very sad. But that's life. But again, because through my coaching and I've had a lot of work I've had to work through and I've had help doing that, you can't do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Like to think you can, but you can't. And I've had a lot of help to help me with my emotions and my depression and my sadness. And as it is, it's a terrible thing. This is your family. And you're
Mm-hmm.
saying goodbye to them. And they choose a cult over you. You're the child. So to understand that is it's very hard. But I do now because of the help that I've had, coaching I've had. So I'm okay with it now. It's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And so we get on with life. So now I've carved out a life for myself. I'm so happy, and I've got a beautiful partner. I've been with him for 18 years. So, and we're very happy. We get on very well. I have two beautiful dogs. I love animals. I love
Mm-hmm.
dogs. The two dogs that I have are two rescue dogs. One is an American bulldog. She's dead. She's the most amazing blue eyes. So I've got her. I've had her. She's now going on for 7. And then I had a bulldog, but the bulldog passed away with cancer, and she missed him so much. And then I said to my partner, "You have to get another dog. She's lonely. She needs another dog." We found one. He's a rescue, and we've had him now. Had him 8 months, and
Mm-hmm.
he is an American Staffy, and he's just gorgeous. He's big. We didn't think he was going to get so big because we got
Uh-huh.
him as a pup. How would you know? He's a rescue dog. They didn't know what he was. So we went to blood tests and everything to find out what his breed was. But he was only a puppy. Because when he
Okay.
came out of his little shelter, because we took our other dog, obviously we've got to see if they're going to get on well with each other,
Mm.
loved each other from the word
Uh-huh.
go. And we knew this is what's meant to be. So we said, yes, we'll take this one. So we brought him home. Loved each other. They got on like a house on fire, which is amazing. But he just kept growing and growing and growing, and he was getting taller and taller. And my partner and I are looking at each other, what the heck have we got here? Is he going to end up being a Great Dane? We're not sure. He
Uh-huh.
has the longest legs, but what a beautiful nature. Absolutely beautiful nature. So
Uh-huh.
we've got those two. But he's got a lot of energy,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine because he gets us out. And my partner loves him. He loves, and fortunately, I live right near the beach. He loves the beach. It's
Mm-hmm.
good. So that all works out very well. So, and I have a hobby that I love is gardening, and my favorite plant is cactus. I love cactuses. I have 20 different variety cactuses in the garden. And my best one is the golden barrel. I don't know if you've heard of the golden barrel cactus.
No, no, no.
It grows. It's round. It comes from Mexico. The
Mexico.
sad thing is, yeah, they take them out of the desert over there. The sad thing is that they're becoming hard to find now. It's people just take them, but also because of the development that's happening around the world, these things are just getting squashed and
Uh,
desecrated. So now golden barrels are becoming hard to find.
fine.
So I've got 12 growing. And they
Mm-hmm.
start off little ball like this, and they're bigger and bigger. And they're called a golden barrel because their spikes, especially at the top, are yellow. So the spikes they end up this round golden ball. Quite lovely. And they get flowers. It's just
Oh, beautiful. Okay, okay. Uh, So, Juan, thank you so much for sharing. Actually, there was a question about like the obstacles you had to face from childhood, but you told many of these things which you went through, and in your
yes.
childhood and like when you were young. So, if you want, you can, if you like to share, if there were some specific ones in your life that were like were some of the biggest obstacles, because eventually you have come through all those, and here you are now helping many people. If you like,
Yes.
because since you already said, but if there are some specific ones you want to talk about, one or two of few, you can please bring them up, or we can move to the next question even. How would you like it?
Thank you, Yogi. I think one of the biggest obstacles was the fact that being in the religious cult, because I wasn't allowed to do so many things, and especially as being a girl and then growing into a woman, you were not. I had no voice. I was quiet. No voice. I wasn't allowed to speak up. I was never allowed to defend myself. I was never allowed to have an opinion.
Oh.
And never had birthdays, never celebrated Christmases. So didn't have any of those things. And my friends at school were having all of these things. So you can imagine how we felt. You know, they'd come to school with their birthday gifts and their cards, and I've never experienced that ever. And so also with my mom, I never had a good relationship. It's very toxic. So of course, when I came here to Australia, our relationship got worse and worse. And especially since I was pulling away from this cult and I wasn't going to church, she was pulling away from me more and more, which was very hurtful. And it was very hard for me to accept, because it's your mother, that's my blood, you know, and the fact that she was choosing the cult over her daughter was a very hard thing to accept.
Surely.
And it took me a very long time to accept that and to come to peace. But like I said, because I knew that there was something more for me, and I also had a life I had to live, and I couldn't live in victim mode. I knew I had to rise up, and I had to stand in my own power now and become and find who I was, because I was lost. I didn't know who I was. Do you know, it was very hard for me when I went into the supermarket. I didn't even know what meat to buy because I was never taught. I didn't even know half of the stuff. I didn't even know how to cook because I wasn't allowed. My mother used to do it all for me. And in Zimbabwe, we had servants that used to do all of that. But she never did half of those things to teach me things. So I had to teach this all myself. And it was challenging, I could say that. But, you know, I came through it, and I wouldn't say I'm the greatest cook now. But I can cook and I can go shopping. But honestly, I will say this, to go shopping was terrifying for me. Absolutely terrifying, because I didn't know where to start. And the thing was too, I didn't know that you should have a budget when you go shopping. So I would just buy anything and then get to the supermarket and wonder why. Okay, sorry, but your card's been declined. How embarrassing. So I had to put some stuff back, and I didn't know what stuff to put back because I need stuff. But what stuff do I need? How long is stuff going to last me? For a week? A month? Fortnight? I had no idea. So I had to learn all of that again. So I tell you, my life was a very big learning curve. And of course, at that time too, I had a daughter. I had to teach my daughter these things. But it just shows, Yogi, it doesn't matter who or what we are. You have to do something. You become resilient. And you do it. And that's what happened with me. But also I had a desire. I had a very strong desire to want to improve myself and not to live life as a victim. I had a really strong desire to do that, and I did. And I made a decision, and I went through with that decision. It hasn't always been easy. A lot of these certifications cost a lot of money, but I found a way. And I haven't. So I've carved out a lovely life for myself now. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Like, sorry you had to go through all those things, but the way you made the comeback is amazing. And here you are, no? So yeah, that is one of the next questions I had actually, like the success stories. But this is a huge like success story itself, and that you were helping that young man go in the direction what he wanted. These kind of things are like success stories themselves. So what would you say? Like, yeah, this is what you said was also amazing. So, what would you consider like some of your great success stories in your life?
Oh, what a good question. There's been a few. I think my biggest success has been learning to live, lead, and coach from a place of power instead of a place of pressure. So, in other words, I've learned to coach from a place of authenticity instead of feel like I have to coach because
Uh-huh.
I've got to have a job. I've got to have some direction in my life, and coaching is what I've chosen. So I need to coach. So I got rid of that because that's not going to get you anywhere. And not only that, it's not going to
Mhm.
get the results that you need to find for your clients. Your clients will not get the results they came to you for if you come with that mindset. So I moved away from that. So, and I've helped countless women step back into themselves because a lot of women out there are lost. And
Mhm.
you know what? Ask a divorced woman when she's gone through a divorce. She stands back when it's all over and she says, "What now?" And some women will say to themselves, "Who the hell am I?"
Mhm.
Because we've lived a life. It's almost like we've been in a pantomime, in a play, and we had to be this figure, this what can I call it? Figure, yeah. You know when you're in a play, what do they call those people? Um,
Like
a
actor,
character. You've
a
had to be a
character.
character.
Uh-huh.
Had to become this character. You weren't asked what character you want to be. You were told you will be this character for the
Uh-huh.
rest of your life, whether you like it or not. And this character is a character that we will tell you how to be.
Mhm.
You are not allowed to have a voice. You are not allowed to be seen in some cases. You will just be taken, you will just become this character for the rest of your life. And that's basically almost what it sometimes can feel like. You're just this character. You don't know who you are. You're just playing a role in life that somebody else has made for you and said, this is what you need to be. This is who
Mhm.
you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. This is who you need to marry. This is what your life should look like. This is the
Mhm.
job or career that you should have. Very few times have somebody ever sat down, our parents or whoever, have sat down with us and said, listen, what would you like to do after school?
Mhm.
How can we support you in whatever choice it is you would like to do? So sad. And so at the end of it all, when you get to a certain point in your life, especially as you get older and you look back and you think, you know what? What a waste of time. Not always, because there's been some
Mhm.
good things that have happened and you've had some good experience, especially if you've been married and you've had children. There have been good moments. I mean, it's a blessing to have children. But at the end of the day, who are we? Who are we? What character now are we going to be playing? Are we going to learn to rediscover ourselves? Because that is a gift. That is absolute. That is an absolute gift because you were born to be somebody.
Mhm.
It is your right. It is your God given right. And so it's your God given right to discover who you are and then to go out there and be the woman you were born to be, whatever that is for you.
Mhm.
No judgment. It's your right. And so, as I said, this is now what I want you to help. I do what I want you to. I do help women because
Mhm.
I've walked the road. I know what I'm
Sure.
talking about, and
Uh-huh.
I know how to take them from where they are to where they want to go, and in a short period of time. It's not going to take you years. Short period of time,
Mhm.
because you don't want to waste any more time being somebody else and playing somebody else's, in, being somebody else's character in somebody
Correct.
else's play. It
Uh-huh.
needs to be ours now. We need to own it. Yeah. And so I want to help these women to remember their worth. So
Mhm.
many women think they're not worthy, and they so are. You
Mhm.
are worthy, and also to set their boundaries without feeling guilt or shame. You don't need to feel all of those things. You've got a right to set a boundary. You have a
Mhm.
right to protect your power. You have a right to say to somebody who is in your personal space or who's not doing the right thing for you or
Mhm.
towards you, you have every right to set a boundary and say, no, no, no more. You stay over there and I'll stay over there. You have every right to do that. But a lot of us don't have the confidence to do that because of the guilt and the shame. And we feel that if we do that, we won't have any friends. Well, you don't need friends. They don't treat you well. Because they just bring you down. So, and also the inner critic, the two whispers that come in. And it's constantly, we have that constantly because it's our programming. Telling us you're not worthy enough. You shouldn't be doing that. Who do you think you are? It's not going to work out for you. What else? All these kind of things. We have to silence that inner critic. We have to get to the root cause of that inner critic in order for us to silence it. We can't just go and have a coaching session and somebody saying, you know what, you are worthy and you are so lovely and we've got to lift your confidence because you're just wonderful and you're such a good person and you do so many good things. It's not enough, Yogi. We have to get to the root of where those things have come from and we have to kill it. Because if we don't, you're still going to walk around. You have your good days. Of course you will. You'll have your good days and some things will go well for you. Some things will turn around and go not so well for you. And then you're back to square one. And then those bitchy whispers come back and start saying to you, you're not worth it. We told you so. So we need to rectify that in order for you to stand in your power and grow. And that's what I love to do. Watching a woman go from shrinking to standing tall, Yogi, is a massive win.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so yeah, these are like, and they say like when a person goes through a lot of things personally in their life, they become one of the best coaches, best teachers, no instructors. Oh, and when the empathy and kindness really comes through them, that makes everything perfect. So, like you said, like you are a natural.
Well, you
Like,
can understand.
yeah, please.
Sorry, go on. I understand that because when you've gone through what you're coaching on, you can understand the pain that these women are going through because you've been there. So you can't just make these things up, Yogi. It doesn't work.
Sure.
You have to have the experience. You have to know what you're talking about, and you have to have gone through that pain in order for you to help that woman. Because if you haven't gone through that pain, you don't understand what they're going through. You don't understand how you can help them. You don't understand really where they're at. So you can't take them from their pain point to their perfect point, if you like. You can't because you don't understand it. And so, that's why I can own what I say because I've gone through all of this. So much more than what I've said to you today, actually. A lot more. But I think it's enough. And the certifications, I haven't stopped learning. Like I have become a life coach. I have become a relationship coach, a money coach. And I've gone now and I've learned how to coach women, which is absolutely beautiful because it's a whole different world out there, coaching women. Because we look at things differently. And to coach a woman is very different to coaching men. So, and I've worked with Tony Robbins. I've done relationship coaching with Tony Robbins and Chloe Medanis, who are amazing, absolutely amazing. So I'm very confident in what I do and how I coach. I've got the tools, I've got the experience, and I've not only that, besides all of that, I've got the passion and the understanding of how to help.
Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think for the next question, you already mentioned many things there, but just for the, for to highlight it, please can you tell, what made you select this path, like you are in today?
Yeah, well, that is a good question because there's so many paths that we could take. But again, if you don't get your thinking right, and you don't understand who you are, you make bad choices because you're making a choice from somebody that you're not. You're making a choice. It can either be an emotional reason, which is a bad thing to do, because if it's a choice made on emotions, it can be a good emotion today, but a bad one tomorrow. And so you could go down the wrong road. You could go down the right road. But more chances than not, you will end up going down the wrong road. And making a bad choice can lead to bad decisions, which in turn can lead to bad outcomes. And so we don't want to do that. So what made me choose this path? I think going back to my first personal development seminar I had with Chris Howard, that really hit home for me. And what he was saying there made sense. And that's where I decided that's the path I want to take. Because especially growing up in a religious cult, and I saw the bad side there, and then being in that mental hospital for 4 weeks and seeing how these women were being treated, and all the treatment and the therapy that they were having wasn't working. So it's got to be a better way. It just has to be a better way. And of course, then was how it showed there is a better way. And I thought, okay, that's the way I want to go. But I can't just stay there. I have to keep growing. So I've got to learn more. And I myself have to grow as a person, and I need to develop tools so that I can go and help these people to change their lives the way that I was able to change mine. Because it's possible. If I could do it, believe me, anybody can. So there is hope.
Yeah. So any unforgettable?
You know
yeah, sorry, please. Yeah.
Sorry. And you know what? You can have fun along the way, Yogi. It doesn't have to be serious and, oh my God, if I don't do this. It's nothing like that. You have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of community and a lot of connection, because that's what women are needing nowadays, is connection. There's a lot of that's missing in this world we live in today, unfortunately, is connection, especially amongst women. Connection and understanding and support.
So after selecting this path, like any special or like unforgettable experiences you had?
Unforgettable experience. Well, there's been many, but I guess one that stands out was a client who told me she used to cry in her car after team meetings because the energy in the room was so filled with subtle tension and competition. And I'm sure any female entrepreneur will resonate with what I'm saying here, especially if you're in the boardroom and you're sitting, and especially if you're in a higher position than a lot of the women that are there. There's a lot of jealousy goes on. But after working together with this woman, she was able to leave those meetings she was grounded in her power. And she had confidence. Confidence was reignited. And not only that, she had a calmness about her. So instead of being uptight, which is what happens when you know that you're in an environment that's toxic or you feel uncomfortable, you are very tense. It causes a lot of stress, you know. It's horrible. It's a very it's not a nice experience, and you come away, it's actually exhausting, to be honest. It's exhausting. But she came away, and as I said, she was grounded in power, she was calm, and the whole atmosphere changed. She saw it differently. She changed her thinking. And so that reminded me that transformation doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be.
Oh, beautiful. And that especially that young man shows, and how he he remembered, and he gave you that how to say a token of gratitude, no? Like
I know, and it was beautiful because it's sterling silver, so you know it was not just a piece of rubbish. And like I said, I've still got it, and I wear it often. It was just a lovely experience. He was a very nice young man, and that was one of my first. I think I'll remember it was because he was my first coaching client, and it was just a lovely experience. And I thought after that really grounded me to knowing that this is definitely the path I want to go on.
Okay. So, one, I would like to ask you, like, this is amazing journey you had, no, all these things and how you inspired people and to make the best of themselves. So, were there any kind of inspirations you had? You told about a couple of coaches and like people, special people. So, who were like, if you can name a few, like, who were your inspirations and could you please tell, like, why?
Well, yes, my biggest inspiration, and I think a lot of women will relate to what I'm going to say here. And my biggest inspiration has to be Oprah. I love Oprah because look at Oprah's history. I mean, that lady, what she came from to where she is now is remarkable. Nobody, I don't even think she really thought she would get to where she is now. I mean, she went through hell. She went to hell and back, but she didn't allow her situation or her circumstances to let her play small and to let her be a victim of her circumstances. She rose and she learned how to stand in her power, and she ignored the bitchy whispers. In fact, I think she used the bitchy whispers as fuel to help her develop more and to grow and to become successful as she is. So I have to say, Oprah Winfrey is, especially when I started coaching, because she used to be on TV then, and she was huge. And I used to watch her a lot and think, I'm going to be like you. If you can do that, I want to do that too. I know I'll never be like Oprah, but no, I should never say that. Never say never. Maybe I could. Who knows?
Sure.
I would like to. Maybe I could just meet her one day. That would be lovely. But she's not only successful, but she's a lovely person as well. And I think, despite all your successes and all your achievements and all of those things, you should never, ever lose who you are and remember where you come from. She's just a lovely person. And I always hold on to that. Just if you ever get really successful and rich or whatever the case may be, don't lose your roots. Just stay a nice person. That's what you have to do. Right? So, so she, and I love Brené Brown. Brené Brown was also another coach that I used to listen to. I still do actually. I still listen to her a lot. She's amazing. And Mel Gibson, I love her. Listen to her podcasts constantly, because even as a coach, you need to be coached as well.
Sure.
We don't know everything. We still need to have help and guidance along the way. And I do listen to Mel Gibson a lot. I think she's amazing. And again, despite all her successes and everything else, she's just a very nice person. And so it says a lot to me when somebody's like that. They're not arrogant up themselves or that just doesn't do me. You can't be authentic and just be yourself. Well, why would I want to have anything to do with it? You're not who you are, so you make me feel uncomfortable and you make me feel unworthy, and I don't want to feel like that because I'm neither of those things. So those are my three heroes.
Okay, so yeah. So, what is your current situation now? You mentioned many.
My current situation.
Yeah.
My current situation is that I'm building a revolution, Yogi. I want to build a revolution. I want to build a revolution where women are discovering who they are, and they are not going to be silenced anymore or diminished anymore. Finished. They are going to stand up and they are going to have a voice. However that voice is going to be for them, in whatever field that's going to be for them, there's no judgment. They have a right to have that voice. And so I would like to cause I want to have a revolution. I want to ignite these ladies. I'll come to my Facebook page. Let's get together. Let's form this community. Let's grow together. It's not you or me, you and I. It's not you and then me, or me and then you. It's us together as a community. And that is my desire. It's really what I want. I want to grow my coaching business globally. I want it to grow so big, and I don't want it to just be for me. It's all of us women. All of us women that need to find ourselves, that need to rediscover who we are, that we need to take on a different role in the play, or even just to be in a different play, our play, our role. That's what I want.
So we heard many things. We just see like your company name on your LinkedIn profile, but I really am just suggesting you should put all these things from like the courses, like I mean, like the coaching. Now you are certified. Please put them. I think it will be wonderful because soon as you have a glance, you just see the company name of yours. But I'm just suggesting, please, if possible, put them. So we, while talking to you, we discovered like you have so many talents and you are qualified in so many aspects. So please tell us, like, because you said money coaching, couples coaching, then you are like life coaching. These are a few things we heard of yours. So please, if you can put this, it will be fabulous, no? So people can see, wow, she's like doing all these things, no? And you keep on evolving, no? As you mentioned. So please tell me, like, how do you help people? So if you can list or categorize the things you do, it will be fabulous because people will get to know from this also. So can you please tell me us like how you help people?
So I help women, female entrepreneurs. So I help them primarily with my program, which is a 6-week program. It's a neurotransformation program. It uses the science to help change the way we talk to ourselves and to others. And I do this through using the power of the subconscious mind. Because when you do that, that is what helps bring about lasting change, not just 5 minutes change, but lasting change. And it brings about the desired results. Because, Yogi, if we can change the way we speak to ourselves, then that influences the way it influences our thoughts, our feelings, and our habits, which in turn creates outstanding results for us and change that we're looking for. So I've got that program, and then I run retreats. So I run online retreats and I run offline retreats, depending where you are in the world. And that's what I do. And the retreats, it depends. I speak to the woman to see what they want, because it's no good for me designing a retreat and women think, well, I'm not looking for that. That doesn't appeal to me. So I like to have a conversation with women. What would you like? And I will design it around what they like. I love talking to women. I love having that connection. So I don't like to just come up and say, this is a coach and this is what I've got by my program. I'm not about that. It doesn't work, and it doesn't work for me. What I like to do first is to have a conversation with the woman first and say, listen, what are you looking for? What would you like? What help are you looking to have? What outcomes are you hoping to achieve? And, we have this conversation. And conversations cost them nothing. They're free. And at the same time, if I feel the need, I might even have a coaching session and help them with certain specific problems.
Okay. So you do like one-on-one group sessions like that also?
I do group sessions and I do one-on-ones.
Online and physical both, right?
Yes, definitely.
And so please tell, like, you do life coaching, couples coaching, then money coach. What else?
So it's life coaching, relationship coaching, money coaching, and then I do NTT therapist. I'm also a hypnotherapist. I studied with Marissa Peer.
Oh.
So I do hypnotherapy as well.
Uh-huh.
And I do women's coaching. So
Okay.
that's
So for many aspects, no, many directions, you try to help.
definitely. May I do a little exercise with you?
Sure, please.
This is it's very short, and I'll explain more about it after we've done the exercise.
Okay.
And it doesn't take long, so it's like 5 minutes.
Uh,
But this helps to calm. It's very
okay. So I
calm.
don't become like a lady or something after this, right?
I haven't got that power yet, but I'm working on
Not
it.
yet, not yet. You become lady.
Where's my wand? You're very safe. You're very safe. Yeah. So what you need to do is just shake your shoulders a little bit. Just relax. Just chill out. Take a nice deep breath. Okay. Now what I want you to do is to focus on one specific thing that might be causing you stress. Just one thing. And when you've got it, just shake your head. Right? When you've got that one thing, just nod your head. So now keep your eyes closed, please, Yogi. And then I want you now to place that one thing somewhere in your body, anywhere. And I want you to give it a color. And now what I want you to do is focus on that color, and I want you to grow that thing in your body. So whereabouts in your body is that thing? In your heart?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do now is to grow that thing, and I want it to grow bigger and bigger. It's now getting bigger, and it's reaching up your throat, and it's coming into your face, and it's getting bigger and bigger, now covering your whole head, whole face. Now it's moving downwards. It's now in your chest. Still the same color. It's growing. Now it's moving down your right hand, moving down to your wrist. Now it's moving into your hand, into your fingers, and it's just moving gently, just moving around, stretching back arm, very gently, very slowly moving back up your arm, all the way up now, up into your shoulder, very gently, crossing your chest, all the way to your left arm. Now it's traveling down your left arm, gently, slowly moving right down to your wrist. It's now in your right hand, down your fingers, moving all around your hand, traveling now back up your arm, all the way, slowly but gently, all the way back up into your chest. And now it's moving around your chest, very slowly, very gently. Now it's going to your back. It's moving up and down, very slowly, very gently, up and down your. Now it's coming around to your tummy. It's It's moving around your tummy slowly, gently, slowly. And now it's going to your left leg, moving down your leg to your knee, very slowly, very gently. And now from your knees, going down off your left knee, down to your ankle, slowly, gently. Now it's in your left, moving around, touching into your toes, slowly and gently. And now it's coming back, this beautiful ball of whatever colour you've chosen. It's moving again up your leg, slowly and gently, up until your knee. And then it's coming back up, right up to your thigh, very slowly, very gently, moving across your tummy. Now it's going down into your right knee. Again, this beautiful coloured ball is moving gently, slowly, down to your knee. And now down to your ankle, slowly, gently, down into your foot, down into your toes. Slowly it's moving around, slowly and gently. Now it's coming back up your right leg, up to your knee. Slowly, gently, right back up to your thigh, slowly and gently. This beautiful ball, whatever colour you've chosen, has grown bigger and bigger. And now it's covering you. This whole ball, this beautiful cover, has enshrouded you. And it's now holding you. It's keeping you safe. And it's calm. It's calm. Calm. It's calm. Now it's all starting to shrink. This beautiful colour ball starting to shrink. It's come back, chest, around your belly. It's moving back up to your heart. Sitting up. This beautiful colour. This beautiful colour is telling you you're amazing, that you've got this. You're ready to release that beautiful ball of colour, to release it, to let it go, and open your eyes. When you're ready to release that beautiful ball of colour, now feeling calm, everything is fine, and you're at peace. Let that ball, when you're ready, open. You ready, Yogi? Yeah, you okay?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Sorry?
How do you feel?
Yeah, yeah. It was very nice.
So that's a little exercise that, when you're feeling stressed, you have to embrace that, whatever it is that's stressing you. You need to feel it go through your body and let it rush through your body where it's going to go from one limb to another, wherever it starts off. In your case, it was the heart. It would start off in a leg. Doesn't matter. You just move it through the body slowly but surely. And then at the end, allow it to really get really, really big and to absorb you. Feel what that feels like. And just know you're fine. You're safe. And stay calm because it's all right. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then when you're ready to release it, when you're feeling that stress, you can release it. When you're feeling calmer and safe, you just release it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. That's very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, and you know what? It's very nice for mothers. I've gone through this with their kids at school because you
Mm-hmm.
can do it anywhere and nobody has to know what you're doing. You're just closing your eyes and it's just you and your thoughts. And you just do that little process. You
Mm-hmm.
just release that stress. Just go.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was very nice. Uh, so yeah, and then some just two more questions. I would like to know. So what you do? You said like you want to make this like a global thing, and then like a how to say like a revolution. Huh? Can you
Yeah,
elaborate more
definitely.
on that, please? Like what? Where would you like to
Okay,
take all
so
this? What you are doing now? You said internationally, and yeah, I think you already
yeah.
answered most of it.
Well, I guess
Yeah, please. But
well, I guess internationally obviously okay. There'll be a lot of work to do online, but I guess I'd also like to go to different places throughout the world
mm-hmm.
and to just get on platforms and to start to speak
Speak.
and invite women, to raise their voices and to communicate with me when I'm on the stage. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's all about. Raise your hands. Tell me where you're at. Tell me what you'd like, what problem you're having. Tell me what you want resolved. Um, tell me how you'd like to stand in your power. Just tell me
Mm-hmm.
what you want, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me. And let's go from there.
uh-huh.
Very hard, without because otherwise the ego gets in the way and then you think you become a know-all. I'm not a know-all. I've
Mm-hmm.
gone through a lot. I know a lot. And I stand in my power. However, there's women out there, I think I know what they're going through. I'm not them. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't walked in their shoes. So I need to talk with them. They need to let me know what's going on for them. Where do you want help?
Mm-hmm.
How can I help you? I have to talk to women. It's important. I can't just go there and say, look, I'm um, this whatever coach, and my business is bitchy whispers, and I do this, this, and this, and this, and I've got
Mm-hmm.
this qualification to work with these people. So what? Big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do all different. And I don't know what's going on with you unless.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then what would be your like ultimate goal? Ultimate, like it could be in many lives, or if you believe like that, or like in this current life, or like, or I mean, regardless of all this coaching and everything, what would be like some people maybe like they have even enlightenment they talk of, right? It could be different people, the destinations they want to go. It's unique to each person. I'm just curious. So what would be your goal in like your ultimate goal if somebody would ask?
You know what? I would love to have like 40 acres on an island. And I would just want to have a resort for a woman.
Mm.
They could just come, just be themselves, and just live and learn how to grow and better versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love.
So women only, right? We cannot go
Sorry,
like
what was
around with a
that?
boat or something.
Something like that, Yogi. I think so.
So this is like out of the you can answer this or something. This is like just I'm asking, no. So modern days we see this is like a very like how to say a modern day question. We like men and all we have this kind of question, and
Yes,
so I'm just asking. So modern days
yes,
we see like couples and all and lot of divorce cases. This and sometimes the ladies they take the initiative of like leaving the marriage very quickly in just
yes,
in an instant. Sometimes I'm not telling like they should stay in an abusive situation, none of that, where they are not respected or anything like that, or in a very bad situation. They should never stay. Nobody
yes.
should go through anybody, male or female. No, there's like even domestic violence. No, that happens even to males nowadays.
Agree.
But now we are
Yes,
in an
agree.
era like there is gender equality. You see more and
Yes,
more, and sometimes like these feminist movements and all, they have won a lot, right? We see then past times, no, like when we see the
yes,
1800s or something, they women
yes,
were like put into places like which were not suitable. Even in some like 2000 years ago, I did a lot of like
yes,
research and study. So
yes,
they said like the lady just has the knowledge of the length of a spoon or the handle of a spoon, so that means she had to cook maybe her own whole life.
yes.
But that's ridiculous. But there were some religions or some practices, they give same kind of respect to all genders at that time also.
Yes,
But they were ridiculed by the other things that had or were trying to oppress all these things. But that's a different story. But
yes,
nowadays, what would you be the advice as a like a we can call you like a female advocate even, right? Like and you're a person who's like trying to like bring lift up the ladies and all these things. So what would be advice like for the younger generation or like people? Some we see like some because in some first world countries or in some other countries, some play around with marriage also. They have like 5 kids or something from like five no males, and they get child support and all these kind of things. No, it seems like a business sometimes. I'm not telling everybody's like that. No.
yeah, I understand that. Okay,
So
so
what
what
would
my
be because the children and all are suffering because of this.
exactly,
We can
exactly,
see
yeah,
like when they break up, then sometimes they grow up with a single parent, maybe just the
yeah,
father or just the mother, but we need both of them together, right?
absolutely. Or else they could grow up. You know, these women bring out other men that end up abusing the child.
Sure,
You
surely.
know, there's a lot of that happening now, so which
Ah.
is very sad. So the thing is with all of this, Yogi, is that Tony Robbins speaks of this a lot. Now, I studied this a lot because it applied to me as well. We have 7 human needs, and these needs need to be met. And with a lot of these women, a lot of these needs are not being met, which is what's responsible for the behavior and the choices she's making.
Mhm.
So she could be wanting, for instance, a big one is significance, to feel significant. And if she's not being made to feel significant, and when I say significant, I'm not meaning feel better than the next person. She just needs to be made feel validated in
Mhm.
her life and to be made to feel like she's worth something. And if that need is not being met, then she'll go and look for it. And it could be through different relationships. Or she could be looking for love and connection. That's a huge one.
Mhm.
And if she's not getting that need met through one man, she's going to keep moving on until she finds it through somebody else,
Mhm.
male or female, whichever her preference. But she's going to keep going until she finds it.
Mhm.
And that can be, I'm not saying the only problem, but in those 7 human needs, you all have needs. But if one of those or 2 or 3 of those needs are not being met, she will go out to look for those needs. It's just a human condition. It's just who we are. We need to have those needs met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So until she can discover what those needs are and work on those and get those needs met in a way that's not sexual, or she's got to find things that's got to be through a man or a woman or whatever the case may be, she will continue to follow that behavior.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, so thank you so much, Juan. And we'll definitely put all Juan's details like in the post as well as the video. And then
Okay.
we'll be sharing it on many platforms, many places, social media, and a lot of places. And so you please be free to contact Juan. And it was a great pleasure, Juan, discussing with you or like listening to. I really love to listen to people's stories, like their life stories and journeys. And your one is like very special because you went through a lot of things, and I didn't even think like there was some part that was involving a cult also here. So yeah, like when we hear cults, like we hear many stories, many things, no, like so. Yeah, but yeah, nobody has to go through those kind of experience or no, and surely like they'll try to find freedom. And in your case, it's so special because you went through all these hardships, and here you are now. After coming out of that and surviving all those things, you are trying to help other individuals come out of their difficulties. No, it is fabulous, and we need more people like you here in the world, even in the universe, who are helping human beings and every beings for that matter, right? So it was a great blessing talking to you, Juan, and surely we'll have, if you like, we can have more discussions like this, and we'll try to spread this word and help as much as many people as possible.
Well, Yogi, I just want to say it's been an absolute joy, and I feel it's an absolute privilege to have been allowed to come on your podcast. Excuse me, a bit of a dry throat.
Uh-huh.
And I can't thank you enough, Yogi. And you have been an absolute delight. You've made me feel special, made me feel comfortable, and I just think you're just an amazing person,
Oh, thank
Yogi. And if you were here, if I was allowed to, I'd give you a big hug.
you.
So thank you very much.
And maybe go around that island, live on a boat or something.
Yes. Well, you know what? I'd love you to come on the island. You could do some meditation for the woman too. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
And I won't have my magic wand. I won't turn
Yeah. So thank you so much for Lingo. And
Thank
thank
you
you
very much,
everybody.
and you take care and enjoy. Have a good evening and a lovely week. Thank you
Sure.
very much.
Thank you so much.